All right. Hopefully, you guys should be able to hear me. Hey, what's going on, party people? How's everyone doing here today? It's definitely a great pleasure to have you guys here. Now, if this is your first time, again, welcome. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, what I do here as a spiritual healer is that I help people to attain their highest level of consciousness. Another way of saying that is that I help people to become Christ like, to become Krishna like, or to become Buddha like. And what this is referring to is helping you to attain your highest level of self consciousness. However, for you to get to that level, and just so you guys know too, what I mean by attaining that, let's just say that Godhead or that Krishna consciousness, what this is referring to is exactly what you mean by becoming Jesus Christ. You have to become the Christ yourself. You have to become Buddha. And what that is simply is a depiction of what it's like, or the people who have attained that level of consciousness. That's why if you learn anything about these guys, you'll be able to learn and look at their history, the trials and tribulations that they all had to go through in order for them to become the person that they were. And as they going through it, you get to see the state of mind that they had, the actual tenacity, how they were looking at life beyond what it appeared to be. So all of those qualities are, I mean, it's a representation of anyone who's doing the work in terms of, who's becoming self-conscious. And as a spiritual healer, I help you to attain that highest level of consciousness, which is which is what being Christ-like is. Do you see what I'm saying? Let's, if any of us gonna talk about God, you know what I'm saying? And again, I obviously, as a spiritual healer, I mean, there are a lot of misconception that comes with spirituality. So because I may introduce myself as a spiritual healer, sometimes I realize people like feel like maybe that means you're not sociable, or I may not know what's taking place in my immediate surrounding. I mean, that's not the case at all. In fact, I'm so tuned in. I help you to see it better. What you think you see or what you think you understand, I'll let you see it from a whole different angle. And becoming Christ like, that's what this is all about. This is you at your highest version. This is you truly knowing who you are. But anyway, now for you to get there, you would have to become in alignment with yourself, meaning the different aspect of yourself has to become together. We have our emotional aspect of us, then you also have the mental. So both of those have to be very balanced for you to now attain or have the greatest version or understanding. And I guess we're going to be talking about I think I'm getting ahead of myself here. So, going back to consciousness, going back to you becoming Christ like or attaining that highest level of consciousness, your emotions and your mental has to become together. And what that means is you would have to be emotionally balanced as well as being mentally balanced. Now, to be emotionally balanced, but first, why is it important for you to become emotionally balanced and mentally balanced, right? Because the minute you're not emotionally balanced, you're not gonna think in the most balanced way. In fact, when you see somebody else, you said, man, you being emotional. You're also saying, you know, it's not balanced. Your emotions are not balanced. So therefore, your perspective, you acting up right now, bro, because you're being emotional. So you're not in your you're not you can't be in harmony. Does that make any sense? I mean, that's technically exactly what you're saying. You're saying that your emotions I mean has a direct impact on your mind, and it's not the best impact that you're having right now. It's not the clarification that is needed for you to really see what's taking place in front of you, or for you to become Christ-like. So that's why you have to become emotionally balanced. But also they both have to become in alignment. They got to go hand in hand. And also you don't want to be too mental, and now you're suppressing your emotions, or you suppressing your desires. Because if you do, I mean, we all know, like your soul is going to reflect that. I mean, it's either you express yourself effectively, or I mean, you're gonna express yourself either way. So when you see someone being triggered, well, that is, this is how, it wasn't what they're expected, or the way they probably wanted to react. But by being triggered, that's because, what I'm saying, there's a disconnection between them and their emotions. So meaning they're not aware of their actual emotional issues. So to become emotionally balanced, like I always tell people, what we're talking about is for you to understand what are your emotions, for you to be in touch with your emotions, for you to address your feelings. Now, if you're thinking trying to suppress your feelings, just like I said, it's gonna be. I mean, it's just a matter of. I mean, you're still doing the same thing consciously or unconsciously. Now, unconsciously is pretty bad because you're not in harmony with yourself. So that's what makes it hard, the conflict between you and yourself. That's why a lot of people who are not emotionally balanced or not in touch with your emotions, you are depressed, anxiety. You live in a depressive life. I mean, you could put on a face for other people to see, but you're really depressed underneath it all. So again, just to say you're gonna be mental and not addressing those emotions correctly. When you suppress it now, instead of acknowledging what the problem is, then that's when you see when you see somebody ego, and then you said that's their ego. Well, it is their ego, but their ego's reacting that way, not because of the ego in itself, but it's because of the low knowledge of that person. Because I have an ego too, but my ego behaves differently. I don't suppress it because your ego can only go as far as you go. If you're a stupid motherfucker, you got a stupid ego. Let me plainly say that. You're not going to be a smart motherfucker and have a dumb ego. It doesn't work that way. That's why when it comes to your ego, it all has to do with the nature of understanding that you have of you or how you're looking at life. Because if you're eating from the tree of life, meaning your knowledge is coming from a holistic perspective, then everybody's needed. Your ego will automatically, find like it will. I mean, again, it goes as far as you go. So there's no way I'm gonna feel. Let's just say I understand everybody makes mistakes. That's why I'm not here. I'm not a people pleaser. And because of that, because of that state of mind, my ego and that level of understanding, my ego behaves a certain way. So no, you're not gonna see me flossing or motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no more money than me. Like you ain't gonna see that. You know what I'm saying? First of all, for you to see that, I would have to give a fuck about you. Do you see what I'm saying? And then your ego, that's why the loudest motherfucker is always the one with the lowest self esteem. So now, because of your low self esteem, the ego has to protect itself, i.e., yourself. And that's what the ego does for you. Your ego is your protection, not what everybody else is saying. Fuck the ego. You got to control your ego, or such and such is getting crazy. That's because of their ego. Yes, what you're seeing is a reaction of the ego, but that reaction is not because of the fucking ego itself. Because we all have a motherfucking ego. And the only reason why some of us, like for me, not even some of us, like my ego is welcome here because I educate myself differently. In fact, if you were looking to praise me, my ego will protect me and say, no, I don't want it. Oh, but listen, Lespri, man, you're a very smart guy. You helped me out. I don't want it, brother. You only said it because you understand it yourself. Because I could have said the same thing that I say to you to a million other people. Guess what? They don't get it. So how the fuck do I get credit for that? See, my ego understand that about me. So if you were to come up to me, l'esprit, hey nigga, that's cool, man. Hey, my ego would automatically behave differently. So your ego is not the issue, and never was. But it was the type of food, the education that you have. Because a lot of people actually they eat from what I call the tree of good and evil. But anyway, I'm gonna delve into all of that tonight because we're gonna talk some shit. But going back again to how, you know what I'm saying, being emotionally balanced is critical as it is important for you to become mentally balanced, and that only at that point, you can have the greatest vision, the biggest, you know what I'm saying, state of mind. And that's what to become the illuminated one, the Christ, the shiny ones, the bright one, the star that you are, however the fuck you looking at yourself. I mean, it comes down to how conscious really you are of you. So that's why, for me as a spiritual healer, although the objective is for you to self reflect and to see the best you in you. I help you to do that. But then again, that's when the occult comes in. Now you would need certain information and certain understanding that is not gonna be literal understanding because nothing is literal. In fact, we're gonna be talking about the world that we're living in. You know what I'm saying? To understand it's the spirit behind everything. That's why when you look at nature, the way is that air that you're breathing? Is it chi? I don't fucking know. But do you do you get the point? So having a good understanding and a deeper understanding, or taking a deeper dive into the reality that you're living in, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, which is Maya. But most importantly, the dimension of consciousness that come on, man, we're going to talk some shit. But anyway, as a spiritual healer, in a nutshell, that's what I do. Now, if you're coming back, you already know what this is. It's always, and always a pleasure to have you motherfuckers back. So, you already know what this is. This is always going to be our Last Supper. It's a Holy Communion. All you got to do is close your eyes, open your mouth. The body of Christ, nigga. Now go on about your business. You hear me? That's why we're here, man, to give sights, to make miracles happen. Oh man, one of a kind. I'll take that I'll take that credit. I mean, because it's just the credit. I mean, it's credited. You know what I'm saying? It's credible, I guess. That's what I was trying to say. I love you motherfuckers, man. So, as part of my routine, if this is your first time, or if you're coming back, you already know. But if this is for your first time, as a spiritual healer, I always like to take the time, and tell you a little bit about spirituality. And the reason being is, as a spiritual healer, my whole wisdom, or the mirror that I'm holding for you, it's spirituality based. So in so many words, I'm also telling you, where I got the shit from. You know what I'm saying? What the shit is. It's your life. Because obviously, when we're talking about the spirit, I mean, you may not look at yourself yet, or depending on your level of consciousness, but it's also saying that there's more to you than what you appear to be. That mysterious life. I mean, it's such a mystery. would you would you agree? You know what I'm saying? And all of us, we are surrounded by that mystery. And that is our lives. Like that's why no matter how you want to dissect spirituality, or even if you talk about religion or whatever the fuck you talk about, spirituality isn't everything. Why? Because ultimately this is our story. Spirituality is telling you about you. And then there's another part in spirituality, which is the manual part, the understanding aspect of it, that would allow you to get in touch with that higher perspective of yours. Because you have to become receptive to it. That's what opening up, that's what your transcendent is. That's what, I'm saying, being devoted yourself to God and to your growth. And I mean, it's all of it. That's why, when people, unfortunately for most people, you don't see spirituality as a regular thing. You don't see it as part of your life. You always see it as something that is outside of you. And that's because you don't even understand how you operate. Because if you understand how you operate, that is why they're telling you, you know better, you do better. You want to change your life, change your mind. What the fuck does that say about you? So I'm saying that to say, because most of us, we go with the traditional way of looking at ourselves as just the physical self. And we're going to be talking about, that this is, the foundation of what we're going to be talking about tonight. Because even if you're saying to get to know me, or for me to get to know you, of course, you know what I look like. And of course, yes, but you want to know how I think, nigga. You would want to know, what's my character, what type of person I am. When you find that out, and listen, it's gonna be beautiful. Just a warning. Hey, I'm a pretty boy, and ain't no shit in my game, nigga. I stay pretty. You know what I'm saying? So if you were to go that route, you know what I'm saying? Like you're just gonna have to see it for yourself. But that entails you to go beyond. Let's just say, that's why you have pastors that are fucking little boys and shit. Do you see what I'm trying to say? It's like You know what I'm saying? Like that's why to truly get to know somebody, you got to go beyond what they look like. And if that's who we are, and that's if that's the reality that we're living in, so that means that's what makes this a fucking illusion because it's not what it appears to be. We got to go beyond what it looks like. That's why everything starts with you and it ends with you. You want love, nigga, love yourself. You want to change the world outside? Well, motherfucker, change yourself. Because ultimately, it's your vision. That's why they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, this world that you're living in, we are in space and dimensions. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back to spirituality. I'm hot. Nah, but it just that's exactly what it is. Again, they are all connected because then now if you understand spirituality in the way that I'm trying to break it down to you, then you understand it is your life. But you also understand it's your regular life because now you have a better understanding of you. So meaning now you get to understand, guess what? If I want to change my life, I got to change my thoughts. And in my last recording, I was talking about movers and pawns. And I'm saying we movers out here. But for you to be a mover, you have to be in connection with you. That's why everything starts and ends with you. That's why you are the creator. And now you have mythology. You already being a fucking creator. Now that is telling you a story on how to create. Or as a creator, now you're looking up to that story. That's what you're creating. That's why they tell you you're gonna act like you're God. That's why the biggest mind control of it all is fucking mythology, nigga. Or as if you want to go that route, it would have to be your Bible or the Quran or whatever the fuck else. So us as spiritualists, or let's just say as ascended masters, or the illuminated one, the true Illuminati, then I'm helping you to be conscious of how you're creating your own life. Do you know where you are, stranger? But for you to get there, you would have to become more conscious of you. And then ultimately, then you realize, listen, yeah. Or if you want to say, is God acting through you? But then now, at least at that moment, you understand, you open up to God so that all of these things can actually take place. So it's you and God. However the fuck you want to put it, the one thing that you cannot neglect, or I'm helping you to acknowledge, because the minute you do, and that's what's going to make you the best creator of them all. Because the unconscious creator doesn't know that he's the one creating. How would you know if you don't know who you are? Isn't that why we're talking? Okay, if we have the ability to what everybody's talking about, or the law of manifestation, if you can manifest, so what the fuck does that say about you? And if you understand there is such a thing as a law of manifestation, so therefore you have to look at yourself more than just dick and pussy, or maybe more than just what you look like. So the idea of not being relatable to spirituality, it's like you fucking dumb as fuck. That's what ignorant is. You're fucking ignorant. God damn, like, are you taking notes at all? I mean, do you have a little bit of dream, nigga? Because if you have a dream alone, that should start to develop your inner vision. That's why I tell you to follow your to follow your bliss. because that's putting you in alignment with you. So even if you were to do that alone, trust me, that's why a lot of people they don't have to be too fucking religious but they understand I am the creator. Or I mean, again, just like I said, if you're not the one, is it's you had to open up to it and allow that manifestation to take place. Either way, I mean, you're still in it. You might as well take credit. You see what I'm saying? And overcoming that ignorance and to really help you to see that you are the true creator. That's truly what we do here in spirituality. And that's what spirituality is all about. And the idea of having those sacred texts, it was just documentations that was left for us for when we're ready to wake up or to help us to wake up. And that's when our ancestors, they have the script. That's why I always tell people the idea of Christ is already dead for you. It means the information is already out there. You have to bring yourself up to speed. You got to keep up with it. In other words, you have to wake up to the truth. That's when you have your aha moments. But most importantly, we're talking about the reality that you're living in now. So this in itself, this is what the occult is about. It's that type of understanding that allows you to go beyond the ordinary shit that you're looking at. In other words, I'm giving you the sight of Christ. I'm giving you the sight for you to see. And that sight has to do with your inner vision. That's why I am like the blind man reading the scripture. That's why you have to be in touch with you, baby. Only then can you truly dance out here. Otherwise, listen, I don't know what you're doing. Come on, baby. You know what I'm saying? Catch up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta catch up, man. So again, I feel like I'm giving you guys two, two in one because that's what spirituality pretty much is. It's your true essence. Now, for you to understand, Maya, or to see, to understand the reality that you're living in, which is okay. Let me back it up a little bit, right? So, okay, let me just finish up with spirituality real quick. So, spirituality is just your ass, nigga. That's your regular life. This is you scratching your ass. This is people bumming, killing each other. This is people loving each other. It's you taking a shit. It's you, what I'm saying, kissing a kid. It's you killing whatever the fuck it is. It's all spiritual. It's all derives from your inner vision, how you're looking at it, but most importantly, from a living mind perspective. Either, I mean, ignorant or not. See, that's the type of consciousness. That's what they say when knowing thyself will set you free. That is the type of consciousness now that would help you to see things better, to reconnect with yourself, to remember. And that's why, in so many words, people always talk about Maya in a sense of it's the land of the lost. And this is what I think they're trying to paint by when it describe Maya because it goes by so many different Mal, Earth, whatever the fuck. Anyway, That's why a lot of people when they talk about the fucking illusion, and there's a, I'm getting way ahead of myself here. I'm getting way ahead of myself. I will get. Oh, you guys gonna love this. Oh, I got it for you. I got the right size. Some of you, I got the right coffin for you. I hope you're not one of them. Oh, please don't be. You owe it to yourself. Do not do that to yourself, okay? Do not do that to yourself. Love yourself better, man. That's all you gotta do. How can I be mad at you? You just gotta love yourself better. That's all you gotta do. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for me. I mean, seeing you already mad at yourself, then for me to be mad at you too, man. I mean, shit. I mean, I am a quiet storm, but I'm not that bad. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I don't overkill. You hear me? I don't overkill. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty fair. I'm give you the right size, baby. It's for you. Nobody else will fit in there. It's just for you. Oh, everybody's getting theirs. Oh, listen, everybody. Like this is for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You welcome. You know where you are, stranger? Be careful out there. Be very careful, champion stranger. All right, Ranger, be very careful out there. Hmm. So now, in conclusion, spirituality is simply your life. Now, due to lack of knowledge or due to ignorance, it's pretty much everything I just mentioned. People tend to look at spirituality as it's not part of their regular life. It's like some, and that's what I was saying too. Let's just say, this is your first time seeing this. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, this shit is as important as Jay-Z and Beyonce, nigga. And, that's even more important. But I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, because your priorities are not right. I mean, because you don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Jay Z and Beyonce might be better for you right now. Then you may feel like that's part of your regular life. I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I'm here to give you to enhance your sight a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we're giving sights. I mean, please go out there and tell them what you see here. Be a witness to this, all right? And talk to the others. Tell them to go come get their medicine. But anyway, due to ignorance, you look at spirituality as something that's outside of you. But a lot of that too has to do with society, right? So, and here's something else that I didn't dive too much into. When we're talking about being mentally balanced, shit, I didn't think I talked about it at all. Besides the point, I mean, what that is for you to understand how your mind works, for you to be aware of your environment, how, what is the effect or what would be the cause of certain things that make you think a certain way. Then when you master all of it, then now you get to think the way you want to think. And that is because it is your true way of thinking because you're already aware of the system and how they influence you. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's one of those. You know what I'm saying? Because you would have to be conscious of you first. Then now you'll be able to identify the collective consciousness. And that's what we call trending, the market. It goes by many different names. But again, I'm trying to help you to see the dimensions in this reality and why, the life that we're living in now, it's called a fucking illusion. Now we're delving into our conversation of tonight. I mean, some of us, listen, man. I mean, sometimes, because I always used to sit among the elders. Oh, listen, man. I was always curious, man. And I love what they used to talk about, especially if it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I always wanted, I mean, I knew I had to feed a part of me. And listen, and as I'm sharing this with you, I could feel myself being around the fucking ancestors. And by the way, it's another way of me also saying shout out to all my motherfucking ancestors. You hear me? For your protection, for your love, and everything that you guys are doing for me right now. You know what I'm saying? And my God, you motherfuckers are incredible. You know what I'm saying? From my grandmother. She told me, babe, you know what I'm saying? They ain't getting none of your money. I'm like, what? You sure? I said, listen, we see what they don't see. He's like, hey, listen, man, we see what they don't see. And that's where they fail. They think they see. They don't see shit. Still haven't seen shit yet. Why? Because Scotty doesn't know. Scotty, you know what I'm saying? You better find out, nigga. That's just part of the game. But anyway, going back to, let's just say my son and myself, right? 5-year old, here we are sharing the same space. He's next to me. But yet, the way he's looking at this life, it's not the way that I'm looking at it because obviously that has to do with the level of consciousness that I have. So therefore, it gives me a different reality automatically. I'm living already a different reality. Meanwhile, I'm right next to him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you do with all your kids. That's why he's a kid, she's a kid. Hey, you understand? You understand, right? You know, kid, not adult, adult, not kids. Understand? Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Kids, okay, lower consciousness does not have the I mean, may have the capacity, but not yet able to see things as you see. That's what makes them kid. Okay, I mean, do we get this part? Okay, now a fucking adult. Again, you know what I'm saying? Just like I was talking about earlier, for you to get to know somebody, yes, you see what they look like. That's why they tell you, hey, I'm giving out free games, man, to my players out there, man. Never go with a bitch because of her fat ass, nigga. It's an illusion, nigga. Man, that's not the bitch you want for. You know what I mean? Because if y'all get married, you're gonna have kids, man. I mean, shit. You know what I'm saying? That ass ain't gonna do nothing. In fact, the ones who was picked because of that ass. I mean, shit, that ass, nigga. There's a chain of event that comes with that. It's a whole abyss in itself. You know what I'm saying? Be careful out there, stranger. Oh man, you be careful out there, man. Illusion. Now, the term Maya is actually used by the Indians. So they were the ones in their esoteric knowledge or occult or part of their occult. Because for me, I have adopted all of them. And, there's a certain word that I may like better, let's just say, in Hinduism that resonate in a way that You know what I'm saying? Then I would say that. And then on a different topic, on a different conversation, it might be a Jesus quote that may, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna go with that too. Oh, everybody's getting theirs. I told you. I mean, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I mean, because ultimately, I mean, you got to learn how to look at it from different angles. That's why knowledge is always going to be knowledge, regardless of where it comes from. So the idea of having different parties, or even to say yourself to yourself, I'm a Republican or I'm this and that, this is already fucking you up because you're not acknowledging knowledge as being knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do, well, the Republican have a good side, don't they? And if they do, why not take the good side? Because it's good, motherfucker. Just for the hell of good. You know what I'm saying? Can you do that? And now, guess what you have? An even greater fucking perspective and understanding. And that's why a big part of this fucking illusion, too, is to look at things from a partial perspective. In other words, when you look at yourself as only dick and pussy, you don't get to acknowledge the other side of you. Like perhaps you have a subconscious mind, and through that subconscious mind, that's where we're saying you want to say certain words to yourself. With all this shit that we're talking about, why are we saying them? That's because of our essence. Because this is who you are. That's why your sanity is all only gonna be from spirituality. Only a true spiritual person is a great human being. And for you to get there, you got to have a holistic perspective. You would have to embrace your body as much as you embrace your motherfucking everything else, your dark side or your subconscious mind, whatever the fuck. I mean, that's part of you doing your. I mean, you always see the saints, right? They behave a certain way, certain the kindness. Well, that comes with a level of fucking understanding. That's why your aspiration is to be every single one of these motherfuckers. All of you are called to be Jesus. You are called to be at your highest perspective or state of mind. You are called to be the Illuminati, nigga. That's what your birthright is because that's your essence. That's who you are. So when you're not being that, because you're not looking at yourself from a holistic perspective, now you have what is called a linear consciousness. Because the way you look at this reality, we say it all the time, right? Life is what you make it. Well, what the fuck does that mean? We all listen, man. You could say you didn't have a choice. You could say all of that, but at the end of the day, even the choice that you're saying you didn't have, you're gonna have to account for that, nigga. Everybody's responsible for your own self, nigga. That's why nobody can save you. You're responsible for yourself, nigga. Whether you did have help or not, whatever the fuck, at the end of the day, that is your reality. Because the minute you say no, trust me, that's why motherfuckers live in one country and go to a whole other country where they don't even know no fucking body or don't even speak the fucking language. Get it? So your life, I mean, it's on you. And based on what you do, well, shit, it's on you. And if you're saying you have Jesus in your life, well, it's you and Jesus, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And you the one allowing Jesus to be part of your life. Because there's no way you're going to talk about Jesus without you devoting yourself or opening up to it, consciously or unconsciously, my nigga. Trying to get you to make the better choice. Because right now you fucking up, you don't even know you're the one fucking up. That's what being a living corpse is. That's what insanity is. That's what being driven by ignorance is. That's what keeping up with the Joneses is. That's what worshiping idols is. Instead of the true God, what are you doing? That's why the idea, going back to mythology real quick, a mythology, just like your Bible, it shapes your reality. And that's what your colonizers understood when, the whole Roman fucking empire, they had to go with church to create domination. Because church, they understand, because they got that shit from us in Egypt, we understand that too. And in fact, so much so, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You are the fucking creator, and that's how they got you to create whatever the fuck you fucking creating. I mean, I mean, you're still creating it because you're the one who's creating it, but not of your ability, not off of your strength. In other words, not consciously. And that's why all you got to do is wake up. So the truth is already around you. You just got to catch up to it. You got to wake up to it. I'll give you a perfect example because I remember, and here was something else too. I remember, man, like I was around like 17, 18, and that was when I first started hearing, if you want to love somebody, I mean, for you to love somebody, you got to love yourself. It's like, damn, what the fuck is that? I mean, you could clearly love somebody else without loving yourself. I mean, this is me not truly fully understand that. And now here I am today saying the same shit I used to hear that I couldn't understand, and I wouldn't say it myself. I mean, I don't. I'm not sure if I was opposed to it, but obviously, so far, so good. You know what I'm saying? But so far, so good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't go to again. I try to be fair. You'll get it later. But anyway, man, like, when I woke up to it, now it's like it's my favorite shit. I mean, and obviously by saying now, not right the second, but shit, I was well, just wake up to it. Yes, yes, yes. It was kind of like that too. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's why we help you when you're learning about the occult, or if you're into spirituality, then we tell you about meditation. Because meditation, what you're doing now, you opening yourself up to other receptor. I mean, you're becoming more receptive to higher energy. That's why that's what you're doing. If you're looking, that's why you gotta have a purpose when you are meditating. So you could expand that mind and allow that solution to come to you. You are enhancing your consciousness. That's why meditation plays a big part in your growth. And you'll see a lot of people tell you, learn how to meditate, go within, because you will get more answers, i.e., more understanding about you or God. And either one of those one works. Because the closer you are to you, the closer you're gonna be to God. And if you're gonna be close to God, nigga, best believe you're gonna be closer to you. Which one do you like better? because God now is your reflection. That's why you are born at the image of God. Nigga. Where you want it? So that's why, if you guys remember, probably 5, 7 years ago, there was a big, big debate that probably a little more. I mean, I can't recall, but there was a huge thing, and at some point, the whole flat Earth thing came out. Flat Earth, and people debating, and other people are saying, "How can you be so stupid? It, that's what makes sense." And other people are saying, "No, it doesn't make sense." But for me, oh, I was entertained because I was always saying to myself, "Okay, but how would that change your life? How would that change your reality?" And again, if it does it again, that's because you are the creator. But for the sake or for the fuck of that conversation, I mean, for the fuck of that conversation, right? How would that make you any better? Let's just say for millions of years, we thought the earth was fucking round. And then that information somehow submerged. Oh my God, we were lied to for so long. Then the earth is flat. Ooh, what's going on? What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, and then what? I mean, what would be the direct relationship, or how would that have a significant impact on your life? I mean, I don't see it, but if you do, holla at your boy. Holla at me, dog. Please do. But quantum physics, on the other hand, that's why this type of knowledge too. Let me say this: I don't I don't talk to sound good. Like we don't do philosophy here. I mean, we use philosophy. I mean, we are philosophers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because we found the philosopher's stone. I want you to understand that. I mean, that's why I always tell people, I don't understand why you want to sound smart instead of being smart. I mean, because if you are smart, I mean, I mean, shit. I mean, if I'm the light, I have to radiate any fucking way. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's why you gotta seek the kingdom of God. Man. You know what I'm saying? Are you doing this? What are you doing this for? To sound good? Do you see what I'm saying? And this type of knowledge doesn't do that. That's not what we do here. Do you see what I'm saying? This is not to sound articulate or to sympathize or you know what I'm saying? This is out of true reality. That's why this type of knowledge is for the living. If you're a living corpse, this is not going to be for you, baby. This is for the living, the ones who hears it, understands it, and become the knowledge, and has allowed the word or the information to transform them. And that's what true transformation it's all about. That's what you see when you see a nigga like Mike Tyson, who used to be a stupid motherfucker, that has transformed to become this good looking guy that he is now. My champ. You know what I'm saying? Now this nigga's the true champ inside and outside of the fucking ring. So nobody's looking at him that way. And this just goes to show you too. I mean, the state of affairs that we are in. But as you know, it is normal to you. And that's what insanity is. And but also because of your mind too, not knowing any better. That's why if you living depending on what society or family that you actually come from, like you're gonna act a certain way. I know for me, as part of my transformation, when I first realized I was probably it was either my first year in college, I had this psychology class, nigga. And I guess we got to the part when they were talking about dysfunctional families. I'm like, I thought they had a camera at my house. I'm like, I didn't pay for this shit. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers, for me to come to class, motherfuckers to tell me how dysfunctional I am. Fuck that school. Fuck their fucking psychology, whatever the fuck. Fuck that author. But anyway, I mean, I'm saying that to say that's exactly what you need, though. I needed that ass whooping. But I'm saying all of that to say, when you don't know any better, I mean, you just merge, right? So, you know what I'm saying? And that's where insanity is. And that's why, to find your sanity, it's for you to know who you are. And it's going to reflect it in your life. That's why I always tell you, you have to materialize your divinity. I think I just sounded so smart. I'm done. Am I nailing? I mean, shit. I think I'm nailing the shit out. The shit out of this shit. Nigga, what? So, oh man, like, I mean, but yeah, going back now to the whole round, flat Earth, it doesn't really make a difference. You see what I'm saying? And besides, at the end of the day, the information that is needed, and that's where quantum physics tells you what you call matter. It's not even matter. It's condensed energy. It's due to our visual because of the body that we have. I mean, that's the world that you're living in. And that's what the Matrix is trying to tell you by calling this the Matrix. This is the web. This is that world. This is Maya. It's active, just like we are active. You see it throughout nature, everywhere. That's why when you start to become more attuned, I know for me, I could listen to a plant talking to me. Oh, I've had a few of those dialogues. Shit, nigga. You have no idea. It's like it's again, it's your birthright. This is you delving a little bit more into you. And that's what this whole thing is about. That's seeing beyond the veil. That's you delving more, developing your inner vision. So the world that you're living in, what makes it an illusion? Because it's not what it appears to be. Now, when you look at me, you would, if you only look at me from my physical appearance, that's what makes you ignorant. And that is only because of your level of consciousness. That's why for me, I don't look at people. I see a physical part too. Yes, that's how I'm able to tap into others. That's what I do. Listen, I mean, what the fuck? What are we talking? I had to bypass that because I already got the sight. I could see beyond the veil. I mean, so that's how I know what you got underneath your skirt, nigga. Regardless of how big or small it may be. I know what that is. Unless if you have transformed. Even then, sometimes I might be able to tell. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Your essence, our essence alone. That's why if you understand this, having understanding the mental, I mean, having the mental understanding of the universe. That's what really we're talking about here. But that is underneath what you see when you look at nature, myself. I mean, we are all part of that one movement. The plant, the animals, right? Because we are dying. We are, I mean, they giving birth. We're giving birth. Like we are all part of the. It's a whole process. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole fucking process. But again, it's how are you looking at it? Because that's what makes the whole. I mean, that's what separate. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you make the difference. It's to be the difference. Be the difference, and you make a difference. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why you got to be that for you to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's you. And we're so much trying to help you to be a better creator. That's when people are telling you, "Watch your thoughts, man." I mean, if you have a bad thought, try to replace it with a good thought. What do you think? The underlying message here is helping you to be a better creator. My nigga. So now, when you understand this plane, or what you call the 3D, whatever the fuck you want to call the plane, Earth, it goes by Malkuth. It goes different names, whichever the one, you know what I'm saying? It's on you. But anyway, at the end of the day, you're talking about Maya. You're talking about this world here that appears to be physical, but yes, there's nothing physical about it. That's why, that's the reality. That's what you need to know about motherfucking Earth, nigga. Fuck if it's flat. Fuck if it's round. You want to understand what's taking place within that space. In other words, what's really going on? What's the consciousness? And those are the different level or the dimensions that you would learn. You got to go in, because obviously, as I was talking about my son, I have a different level of reality, or I have experience. I've seen different reality. I mean, realities. Then he would not understand at, although he's standing next to me. So again, it all comes down to you being that living mind. That's why if you understand that about you, how do you only feed your belly, not feeding your mind, baby? You're not balanced, because this is as important as this. And that's having a holistic perspective. And that's seeing the bigger picture. And that's how you become Christ like. So many. I mean, I would have to say different schools of mysteries give paint the picture a certain way. Because at the end of the day, they are all artists, and that's why the art you'll see. I know for me, I see the relationship between me and fucking musician, and by me, I'm saying in my own rights, right? I am an artist as a teacher. The understanding, the art of speech. I mean, that's my art. For me, I mean, but first, for me to help you to think critically, I had to become critical. So that's why you'll see the teachers, there's a transformation in us. And what you see with a lot of musicians, they also transform. As they transform, their music transform. I mean, there is like, listen, it's all spiritual. Or if you're playing sports, that's why you gotta follow your dreams because they will get you involved. You want to be involved. You want your feelings to be involved for you to evolve. And that's the path. That's the you going at the lowest of the lowest, and this is also you going at the highest of the highest, or experiencing the lows and the highs, and the low lows and the high highs. What and when you have that type of understanding about this realm or Maya, that's why in so many words, I mean, we transcend it. It's I mean, you're not gonna. I mean, how do you say fuck humanity? Besides, your spirituality is your humanity because it has to be manifested. That's why talking about Jesus means nothing if you're not about Jesus, nigga. What you about? You could talk guns all you want. Are you shooting? Are you pulling? What you doing? You talking or you pulling, baby? What you doing? So again, it's the action that defines us. That's why you can't just talk. I mean, your nature in itself, when you understand that, that's why you have to become whatever the fuck you trying to do, or whatever I mean, you have to become it. And that's what, that little white boy that was telling you to think, I mean, think and grow rich. He was trying to implement that into your mind, trying to tell you to dream bigger, open your fucking mind. Because you only radiate out of your brightness. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can only reflect. I mean, your essence. So that's why you have to become that testimony. I know for me, I am that walking testimony. You heard? For that's what makes me a religious man, because I'm a walking testimony for God, for the divinity, for the divine. I should say. I apologize. I took it back. Right, I took it right back. I figured you guys wouldn't buy it. Took it right back. No problem. How about now, nigga? A little better? Is that okay with you? Again. So we're talking about your very essence here, man. So anytime you're not seeing from that perspective, you're looking at whatever the fuck you're looking at wrong. You're looking at it from a surface perspective and not beyond the veil. And anything you look at only from a surface perspective is guaranteed to fuck you up. It's always what you don't know that's gonna get you, baby. And that goes for everybody, including myself. It's always what you don't know that's gonna get you. Stay alert, baby. That's how we stay sharp. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? When I aim, stay aiming. The target breathe, I breathe. When you move, I move. I'm on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm on you. What? Hey, you try to write. I'm giving out sizes, man. All the perfect size. Trust me. If you haven't gotten it yet, it's on its way. Oh, you know you get. Shit. Hey, we told you. Yeah. Oh my God. You still don't see. How can you be so hard headed, man? I mean, you vouch to be stupid. Like fuck being smart. I mean, shit. Like I'm gonna be stupid for life, huh? That's your decision. Hey, man. Like everyone else, we all got to deal with our consequences. Like this is the consequences that I'm dealing with now. You feel me? Being that little sunshine of mine. Having to put the work in for me to get here. Oh, this is my dream. I'm living up my dream, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I went from negative to positive, baby, and it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm successful, my nigga. As fuck. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, listen, I'm not even listening. I'm successful as fuck. The rest is history, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here trying to show you how to get it. You know what I'm saying? You never make money chasing money, baby. You never do that. They don't get it. Hmm. You gotta make money fall in love with you, man. We going to Candyland, nigga. That's where I'm going, man. You know what I'm saying? Canaan. We're going to Candyland. That's the promised land. You hear me? So now, going back to, that linear consciousness to looking at it from one perspective. And that is generally from a surface perspective, not being aware. And that's what you see. And that's why a lot of us, we cry when somebody transitions. It's not a hard stop. It's not the end of it. That's why you also need to, keep in touch with your ancestors. Have you had any experience with your ancestors? You would know. Like I know, nigga. You know what I'm saying? A couple people pass away. We got in touch. Listen, I know. Well, I guess one of my skills too, being a mediumship. I mean, I guess a medium. You know what I'm saying? It is what. So I know. And because I know that side of me, it has extended my consciousness, meaning now I could see beyond this veil of the material world. And by me doing that, now it gives me what we call a Godhead mentality. I'm looking at things the way God would actually look at it. That's why sometimes you have to suffer, but it's not the sufferance that God is looking at. It's your confidence, my nigga. And of course, I mean, again, I mean, to be a little bit political here. But most importantly, understand the conflict is what's built you. That's why you have to learn how to embrace your pain. And that's how you transmute it by understanding what it's supposed to hurt you is actually making you better. So, meaning now that to the pure, all is pure, you are purifying your environment. That's why for me, I don't, my reality of this world, it's not people dying in Africa. I'm not saying this to minimize it, but if that's your only consciousness, you, I mean, that's a linear consciousness. And again, I'm not saying that do not exist. I'm not saying nor is good, and I'm not saying nor is it bad. Does that make any sense? I mean, it's a reality. Okay, I mean that's part of it. What else? What your issue is you making it your reality on, and that's the limited perspective, and that's what makes you a mortal, although you are immortal. Because your true essence, what we call death and birth, those are different doors, a way in, a way out. And this is not something that I'm saying now when I'm talking about our fucking ancestors or talking to the dead. This is something that always been around ever since. So that's why I thank the ancestors because now I have the understanding that they had. And that's how the baton was passed down to me. And now it has to be passed down to somebody else. In due time, niggas, relax. I'm still here. We riding. We're not going anywhere. We right here. Yeah, got me fucked up. Watch yourself, stranger. What you what you hope for your stepmother. That's what happens to your mother, man. Be careful. So, going back to the conversation at hand, again, exploring the different dimensions of this reality that we are living in. That's why you would say, as a teenager, when I was a teenager, I used to think a certain way. There was a certain vibe that you were on. There was a certain trend. There was that was a dimension of a reality, motherfucker. And as your consciousness become more again, so what you truly experiencing is a true life experience here. And that's why you have to understand your essence too. That's why this knowledge is not, it's not to sound good. It's not to sound smart. It's not to have an open argument. It's not to state a certain ideas. This is a reflection of a higher consciousness. And that's why this is for the great listeners. Oh, y'all gonna learn today. Hey, you gonna learn today. So again, start looking at things from a different perspective. Start to look at beyond the veil. When you start moving that way, I mean, you are developing your inner vision, your insights, because that's what's going to help you to have a better perspective on what's taking place outside. mean, I want you to embody that because it was said for you to embody it. I want you to digest that for a second. Chew it out. You know what I'm saying? Take your time, baby. That's yours. So again, going back now again, I mean, that's how you see beyond the veil. But most importantly, this is what this world is. So now here we are touching matter, and this is condensed energy. That should fuck your mind up. That should make you question, obviously, the reality that you're living in. And as you're doing so, you start going inwardly. That's what going inward is, the inward journey to your self development. That's what developing your inner vision is. Your insights. Because keep in mind, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And that's what consciousness is. You are empowering or enhancing your vibration by, what I'm saying, knowing more and more of who you are. And that's how knowing who you are set your motherfucking ass free, man. Free of that material bondage. Keeping up with the Joneses? You're crazy. What is that? Now I see why you have an ego issue, baby. That's not the ego, man. So it's basically you beating on your own self. I mean, you playing the game, but you playing a losing hand. It's like, I mean, you playing to lose. Whenever you play yourself or trying to play somebody else, you always end up playing yourself, King. It's you playing yourself, man. You're doing too much. Got this I'm sure like you done went the total opposite way, man. Like this nigga, man. You went too far out, baby. Stay close, nigga. I gotta keep up. Gotta keep up. Golly. Mm-mm. So now, talking about, Maya, right? Oh man, we're talking about so many different shit here, right? So, yes, the dimensions I was talking about. Because there's a level of consciousness, and that's what to me, the third dimension is pretty much about. Like when you like for me, like there's degrees of consciousness. And of course, obviously, it comes with the frequency, it comes with the vibration, and that those are also the messages. Because energy, there's intelligence in it. The more you reflect inwardly, it's like you're pouring your energy into your energy. And of course, you could guess what the result's gonna be. That's you sharpening up your tools. That's you raising yourself up. That's why you have to become in alignment with you. And as you do so now, your connection with your higher self, the fucking ancestors, listen, it's something to be experienced. And listen, that's that ancient knowledge. I mean, I'm making it available to you, baby. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? No, no, don't worry about it. That was for you. It's on the house. It's from the heart. You know what I'm saying? It's truly from the heart, man. So that's why, and in this frequency, we're talking about frequencies. I mean, we may use certain terminology, but again, when you, let's just say, if you choose not to use those terminologies, when you get an aha moment, when you went from not understanding anything to now understanding something, I mean, you have to acknowledge all of that. And that acknowledgement in itself, I mean, that is, again, that's adding to your consciousness. And the more of that you do, that's how you become the Christ like. And this, my friend, is where you need to go. Yeah, I stood in front of him. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling you what to do. Just like I was told how to get there. Don't worry. You're gonna get plenty of help along the way. That's where your guides comes in. That's where your ancestors comes in. And you know what I'm saying? And the greater the connection, nigga, I listen, I make non-believers believers, man. I mean, that's what we're saying. We're not saying this to talk. This is an actual living experience. This is the very materialization of that divinity. And that's what makes me a religious man. You know what I'm saying? So, Maya, the land of the lost. But although it goes by so many different names due to the fucking illusion, but you also got to understand the illusion in itself, it's not really Maya. It is your ignorance. Because that's why, you know what I'm saying, you don't curse at the darkness. You get a Kindle, nigga, and you light that shit up. Oh, it's free game, baby. That's in the house too. That's another tip. That's for you, baby. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Get the fuck out of here now. You gotta get the fuck out of here. So, what I'm saying here, I'm saying a whole lot, baby. You know what I'm saying? We're saying a whole lot here. So, my understanding the reality that you're living in. Now we have cars, unfortunately, due to society or that linear consciousness, we only look at life from one surface. I mean, which is the physical part. I mean, your goal now at this point, it's to survive, it's having a career, it's to get the best pension plan, not again, if you truly understand everything I just said, I'm not against any of that shit. But none of that shit means nothing if you don't have you. That's why, again, it's just, it's not even, I mean, it's not even comparable for me to talk bad about it. You know, it's like, it's just like, do you see what I'm saying? It's, it's cherries and fucking tomatoes. And they're not cherry tomatoes. I hope I didn't confuse you. It's cherries, and like it's like talking about cherries and tomatoes, but those are not cherry tomatoes. Let me stop, man. But anyway, but I also wanted you to experience these things as I was addressing them and talking about them. taking you on a journey on how for you to even look at you. I'm helping you by, that's why I'm reflecting that side of you, by helping you to, what I'm saying, become aware of some of the shit that we're saying and doing every day. Because we talk like it, you already know to change your life, you got to change your mind. Well, if that's the case, what the fuck does that say about you? Then we're saying all these fancy things, yet not addressing what matters the most. That's why, again, you don't see the full picture. That's why you're not fully enlightened. That's why you're not the Illuminati yet. I'm gonna help you to get there because now you only have a one-sided perspective. That's why you have to become perfect, like your Father in heaven is perfect. Meaning you become whole, not flawless. I mean, and part of your perfection, ironically, is you're making mistakes too and keep getting better. So, was it truly a mistake if you learn from it? You see, those are some of the inner vision that you will have to start adapting into your life. That's how you're living like a god. You're living godlike. Now you're able to transmute. You have a positive outlook on shit. So I've been giving you guys the cues here. I touch on it on different aspects, but at the end of the day, it's you got to become the knowledge. You want to be knowledgeable and not wise? That's not even wise in itself. No wonder why you want to sound smart. Come on. And that's what you do when you playing yourself, man. You guys are playing to lose. You know what I'm saying? You do it in your relationship. You're truly looking for true love, meaning you're not even truly being with yourself. It's like everything you do now becomes it's half stepping because you're not fully involved in it. There's no worthiness in you neither. There's no integrity. There's no fulfillment in you, man. Pick yourself up a little bit, baby. Come on, you owe that little bit to you. Come on, man. I just don't want to talk to you that way. I feel like I'm being like grandpa whooping somebody's ass. You know what I'm saying? Like you made me mad, nigga. Go get a belt. I just didn't want to do that to you. You make me do it. Oh, listen, man. Listen, I tell you, man, I always used to sit among the elders. You hear me? I felt love and appreciated there. You know what I'm saying? I always used to be like, I like this kid, man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be something, baby. You know what I'm saying? And they're always giving blessings to the kids too. You know what I'm saying? Because beauty's beauty when you see it. Come on, man. Hey, no matter where it is, baby. Just like if you're a motherfucking pig, then you wear fucking lipstick, you still gonna look like a pig. When you're beauty, man, you could be Cinderella, nigga. In the middle of the ghetto, nigga, you still gonna shine. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? I've been shining on these niggas, man. My whole fucking life. Come on, man. I'm used to it. That's what I do. Come on, man. That's why you gotta be the minute you become who you are. You know what I'm saying? Where you at doesn't matter, baby. Now you are the life of the party, man. Like you done transformed, you done transcended, you know what I'm saying, the physical reality. But you transcended not by rejecting it. but by fully embracing your true self. When you embrace your true self, then now, I mean, just because, you know what I'm saying, your dick get hard sometimes by itself, or you saw an ass, that's not what you wanted. That doesn't mean you gotta chop your dick off for that. So okay, all right. So just because, I mean, yes, I mean that doesn't make the body doesn't have to be weak, dog. There's nothing weak about the body, you know what I'm saying? Because your dick get hard. It's a natural. It's a sexual. That's why it's called sexual attraction. Okay? It's a reaction to a feminine energy. Whenever you see it, that feminine energy in itself is gonna resurrect that thing in you, baby. You best believe you're doing something good. You alive, nigga. Next time your dick get hard without you knowing, you grab that motherfucker. Now I ain't saying do anything else, baby. But make sure you whatever else you do is on you. You are not on trial. I'm not here to judge you. You feel me? No, I'm not here to judge you, sir. And I'm just gonna leave it there. What's you pervert out there? What's your perverted minds? Anyway, and when you start seeing and understand this reality, or at least being able to see it through the veil, that's how you transform. That's what we call the philosopher's stone. That's where now you become the alchemist because what you do, or the true magician, you have translated, or I mean transmuted something ugly into gold. That's why when I tell you, if your consciousness about this world is to tell me kids are dying in Africa, they're not eating, my friend, I mean, I'm not saying the opposite. I'm saying there is more. So you can't convince me with that, not because I'm not acknowledging that, but because I know greater realities too, motherfucker. And I don't have to accept only that. That's when now you have adopted a God mentality now. You're looking at reality from a whole different perspective. You're moving in the shadow. Now I'm giving out too much about me. Enough, motherfuckers, enough. That's what it's like to become Christ like. That's what it is to become a living testimony of the true spirit that you are. So again, I mean, we talked about so many different shit here because they're all connected, man. Once you understand, like they're all connected, all connected, and that's why you gotta have a holistic perspective. You understand? So you only gonna look at Maya or the illusion as being something bad, and that's what the so-called your Christians, when they talking about it's always a promised land. There's somewhere else they need to go because they have not materialized the understanding. That those are the ones that Jesus said they read the book, but they don't understand it. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? You know what I'm saying? They articulated, but they didn't understand it. How do you sound so great, but you didn't understand what you just said? Or I mean, it's just the big words, and then you didn't say anything smart, nigga. And the beauty in saying something intelligent, no matter how you say it, when it's wisdom, it's gonna be that, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what you saying? What are we doing? So, what would actually change your life, or you should be seeking to understand, or you should that should fucking blow your mind off, is what the fuck? If you're saying this is condensed energy, that's what makes this not the reality that it appears to be. But yet, everything that is taking place around us is surrounded by us, by spirit. There's no world, there's no development without us. And also the same thing for your body too. There's no body without you. When you're no longer evolving or transforming in that body, that's what death is. That's what transition is. Then the body now, there's no life in it. It rotten now. But what kept it alive was the spirit of you. So that's why your body is an extension of you. So there's nothing for you to suppress because there's a European perspective when it comes to spirituality. They always trying to make you think, well, for you to attain your highest level of consciousness, you have to suppress the body. You have to manage your emotions. That is true, but not the way that they're saying it. They're saying it from like a versus perspective instead of you coming together with your emotions. Those are two different realities. When you're suppressing your emotions, that is a recipe for toxicity. You'll see anyone who's toxic or any criminal, whatever the fuck, it's always people who were closed off or became closed off, and they stay. I mean, shut up. Like them niggas shut down. They shut it down, like, yeah, like all the way down. That's when the motherfuckers told, and that is out of fear, and that's why these motherfuckers, I like to call them like Chuckies, because they're technically little babies that are so hurtful, but they don't get to grow because if you don't keep hurting, you're not gonna go stronger. You have to remain open, meaning you got hurt, you try again. That's how you remain open. And as you're doing so, you're building your inner strength. That's how you grow spiritually. And then now you say, like they all say, as a younger man, as a baby, I talk like a baby. But now being a man, I speak like one. So again, the transformation has to come place. I mean, has to uh, 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 has to take place. Your transformation, you going through different realities, different understanding, or seeing beyond the veil has to take place. Because a lot of that, that's when your reality of life now, when you become wise, then you know what, man, there's no need for me you know what I'm saying? Then you understand all this time what you should have understood from the very beginning, nigga, you just live your life according to you. you know, find yourself. That's all it is. And who the fuck is yourself? Your inner self. Call it God. I mean, if you didn't look for God, somehow you gonna find him, or vice versa. If he wasn't looking for you, or if you weren't looking for you, I mean, for him, he was looking for you. And if you're looking for him, well, I mean, maybe he wasn't looking for you, whatever the fuck. But the bottom line is tomatoes, tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, call it whatever you like. But there's no way if you want to call it God, you gotta go enter. And then you want to call it self, you don't want to call it God. Guess where you gotta go to? So it's on you. It's on you. I mean, it seems like I always gotta fuck your mind up. It's on you. Always been. That's why in that Training Day movie, I love that shit, man. When he said, "Hey, homie, everybody got to put in their own work around here, man." Listen, and that's the way it goes. I'm just showing you the door, man. But you're gonna have to walk in there, knock on that door. If it's shit, keep on knocking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you probably forgot your keys though. You know what I'm saying? You probably need a key maker. Say, don't worry. That's part of the journey. So I told you I got you. You feel me? I got you. Come on, baby. But again, the objective here is I'm trying to get you to see it from a different perspective. Because that's really what it comes down to. Or from a better perspective. Not so different, but a little bit deeper. You see what I'm saying? Look again. How about you look again? Change this and then look again. You see how your reality changed? You see that? Talk to me. Do you see that? You better answer me, motherfucker. You see that? Exactly. How do you want it? But anyway, just to summarize, because ultimately, it's to help you. The reason why we acknowledge the science of ignorance, it's because it plays a big part in knowledge. Because the remedy of the pain is in the pain. The answer you're looking for, that's why through your ignorance you learn. But you gotta be open. You you, you gotta be open. See, again, it's a win-win situation. But that has a lot to do with your level of consciousness and how you relate now, because that's what we say when we say life is what you make it. And in reality, you have motherfuckers who hustle, you have other motherfuckers who do not. Then you have motherfuckers that sit on their asses. And everybody's right because I mean, hey, listen, man, everybody got to put in their own work. We all gonna see what we all gonna see, man. There's no way. I mean, you can't be doing shit and thinking, nah. So when you think you are escaping from shit, what you were really doing is making shit bigger for you. Oh man, whew, makes me want to cry. Let me take a few seconds for you. Hmm. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. I'm not bothering you. Yeah. A man once said to drink is an art, and the art of drinking. All right, that's when I know I need to stop, right? But anyway, the beauty of shit, nigga, I'm on some bullshit. But anyway, oh shit, let's. I'm having too much fun with you guys. You know what I'm saying? But again, just to summarize, having a proper understanding of this realm has to do with your level of consciousness, and obviously, the more conscious you become as you are, aspire to be Christ-like. That is your model. That is your business. You want to be the brightest. If you already a living mind, you want to be a living dumb mind? Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? The same thing. If you're going to choose your God, when they could choose them all. Whichever one makes you feel better. Saying, make sure it benefits you. Be a mover out here. Don't be a pawn. This is for the movers out here. We're moving. You hear me? This is for the movers, man. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. And if there's anything maybe I felt like I should have talked about, we talked about enough. Listen, always remember, for you to be you, nobody else can be around. And also, money is such a great servant. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it your master, though. Terrible master. But a good ass bitch. Make sure you're also always spanking. You know what I'm saying? Get do all your dirty shit with it. Never allow it to be your master, baby. And also, the remedy of the pain is in the pain. I see.